to season 2 of Give Us a Voice Men's Edition. Woo! We have the guys back in conversation today, and we are going to discuss things very candidly, very real, and we have our first audience with us as well today. So yeah, you're welcome back. Welcome back to the Emotional Development Mentoring channel. Please subscribe, click like, share, and all that good stuff. So yeah, hi guys.
Oh,
Hello. Hey.
Hello. So we're a year on. It's been a whole year since the last filming or the last release of season 1. So how are we all doing?
all good.
What's the progression? I know last time we spoke a lot about, our fathers being absent, growing up in single parent homes, or fathers being present but absent emotionally. So has there been any progress for anybody, or back in contact with our fathers, or having a better relationship with our fathers, or any conversations that have happened with our fathers in the year?
You kind of like you start with the easy question. I think I've just found a way to just deal with it. I think I'm still at that place where it's now based on understanding, and you function better, and like not letting certain inabilities to kind of restrict how you deal with someone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think after that conversation, one thing I kind of resolved to was don't let someone's inability to meet you where you want them to meet you stop you from being the person that you are. Because I think as humans, we tend to say, if this person doesn't show me love, then I'm going to stop being loving. But unfortunately, what you do, and what I found myself doing, is that way of thinking did not just apply to that one person. It now became my default setting to whoever and what was around me. So just saying, okay, whatever I receive from you, I take. Do you understand? If I don't receive it from you, I am not defined by what you give me. I am who I am, irrespective of that. Do you get, if that makes sense to anyone?
Yeah.
So I think that has helped me to be able to be grateful for the things that I get. Okay, the scripture puts it like this: no man owes you anything. Owe no man nothing but love. And the way I flipped it is that no one owes me anything but love. And so if anyone gives me love, I take it, and I'm grateful for it, and I give love wherever I can, and just carrying on being me. So yeah, so that's my default.
You got it well. I think for me is the more you grow, the more I've grown, the more I've learned about God being Father, the more I've had to handle some of the resentments of the loophole of what I didn't think I received, if that makes any sense. And so you're very same. For me, I'm still on a journey. So, I mean, the thing is that there is still that, but I think I have to first become quite honest with myself in terms of how much resentment I was carrying. I think there's times where I've realized how much resentment I've had, because at the end of the day, when it comes to fathers and people, I say this with due respect to my dad, but when it comes to the people who are in the positions of power, the expectation is that you're the person who receives it rather than you're the person who gives it.
Yeah.
And I find that growing up, especially being a leader and stuff like that, you're always in a position whereby you have to know better. You know what I mean? But I found that the first part of my healing has been taking place whereby I actually recognize, no, I would have liked to have had this. I'd have liked to have had this, that, and the other. And then said, God, this is what I need. And I accept that, okay, this particular person hasn't given it the way that I wanted it.
Yeah.
At that point, that's when I start to find a deeper level of peace in the fact that, okay, I can forgive this, but also now I need to rely upon you and also some other voices in my life to help me meet those needs. Because I still think you still have needs. And no matter how old you are, you can still be injured at a point whereby a need was not met. And I find that no matter how physically, maybe 30, 40, 50, but emotionally you're still connected to that place.
Yeah.
So for me, as I've been growing, I've had to deal with some loopholes, forgive them, and also look at how can I practically get this need met. 'Cause it's not an unrealistic need to have encouragement or whatever. So where I've been dealing with it is I still reach out to my dad, we have conversations and stuff like that, but at the same time, that, like what you said, that understanding helps guard you from that resentment as well.
Or for example, you call and you don't receive a call back, it's easy for you to think, you're always da 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 da. But after a while, I'm like, maybe man is busy. Like, you just go home. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And there is not that animosity of saying, oh, you must call me back within this time frame. And I think that's very important to be able to be forgiven. Do you get what I'm saying? Before anything.
Do you guys think age is a factor in terms of our fathers? Because my father's quite advanced in age. So he turned 87 last week. Yeah. He had me at 35. As I said previously, I'm the last of 11. So when you don't remember? But for me, reaching out to my father is literally like, I need to see how he is. I no longer look at him as the source of my encouragement or the source of my, like, I missed that when I was young. I think when I think about my father, I always come from the standing of, I have a son. And how would I want my son to relate to me? So I purposely just do things for my father. So, like, for instance, last week was his birthday. A couple of family members forgot, obviously. I didn't, so I just said, let's just go out. And then we went out, and he's like really small and 87, but he looks like he's 60. And I was sitting there, I was thinking, if I didn't call everyone, no one really would have remembered this guy's birthday. And I thought to myself, okay, so my son is, he's 9 now. And I thought to myself, okay, so I would never want my son to ever forget my birthday. So I need to make sure that if you asked about the change or what's happened since last, to be honest with you, I haven't necessarily done the greatest in terms of my relation with my father. I literally called him to make sure, it's gonna sound really bad, but I'll be real, it's 87, innit? It's passing on the 8th. So I could see, you alive, Dad? You know? Or like, how you doing and such. So I think, listen, but extending the hand more, I think I definitely need to do that, because I think for me, extending my hand more, there'll be some healing that happens. Because with my father, he just likes to talk, but you have to approach him. He's not gonna come and say, son, I wanna talk with you, or I wanna open up about this. But the funny thing, he would just speak things and I'm like, I didn't know this. So he spoke about something regarding my mother's house and certain little secrets that I didn't know. And it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm poker faced, but I'm like, my mind's blowing about what you're talking about. And I feel that there's so many things that I feel I'm gonna know about myself or my family history if I just reach out more. So kudos to you guys for reaching out or even thinking about that. But I realized that just for calling him about his birthday, getting family members doing something like that, I have to, and my son came as well, which was wonderful. So I had generations there, and I just thought to myself, my son has to remember my birthday. I wouldn't want what my parents did to me. Like, I don't want to depend on my son when he's older, because African household, in my household, I can't remember everyone else's, but my mother, not necessarily my father because he wasn't there, my mother definitely was like, you have to pay this, you have to do this, you have to do that, and you kind of feel entrapped. I never want that for my son. So I think just by doing little things with my father, it will change the culture. But in terms of change, I haven't necessarily done as much as I know I could have done.
But I feel like what you said about, because you're in a position now where you have a son, so you're in a position of power as well, so you're thinking about how would this impact on you. So I think that has a big impact as well on how you handle the things of the past as well. My brother's also got he's got 2 children, and there was obviously conflict in the family. But then him saying, I've got a son now, I've got now 2 sons, and I'm thinking about how my relationship will be with them, and projecting his desire on our dad. So I think that does play a big part in trying to resolve things, because you got a vision.
With me and my dad, I'm sure you remember last year, I said that things have gotten a lot better. I've learned to understand him a bit more. I made some of the same mistakes he made, so now I have more sympathy for him.
That's real. That's real.
That's so real, right there. Like.
But he's really making an effort with me. He's always messaging me, and I feel bad because I don't really reach out that much. He's always on my mind, but I don't reach out. So he does, and I'm always kind of grateful when he does. And we speak, he invites me out. It's good.
It's lovely.
But one thing the Lord's really been helping me with this year is to understand purpose and intention. And it's more so understanding why he did some of the things that he did. So I realized that a lot of the things I think about my dad and a lot of the ways I view him through the lens of what my mother said.
Wow.
So
That's real.
she said something, and automatically, because I'm young and impressionable and she's who I'm closest to, that became what it was. There was no doubt in it, there was no rethinking it. But I've gotten older and the Lord's really helped me. He's really helped me to think, okay, now some of those things that were said, is that actually true? Is that the purpose behind why he did it? It doesn't justify what he did.
Yeah.
What was the reason for it? So I've now started to think, do you know what? I kind of have to now renew my mind in that fact of the image I built up might not necessarily be a correct one. And I've had to now give him kind of like a clean slate. And I plan to have a conversation with him, asking him, okay, look, this happened, that happened, why? So at least when I get it from his mouth, I can build a completely different image of him. Still might not be a perfect man, probably won't be in my mind, but at least helps me to understand him a bit more. So I'm just glad that the Lord really just helped me to understand more of why he is the way he is, more of the man who he is, and kind of just extend that grace. Because the more that I think about it, and the more like I'm like, I don't want my son to hate me.
Facts.
And I want him to be able to extend that grace to me. Let me just kind of like do that now. You know what I mean?
Sow that
So I can sow that seed and I can get it back. Yeah, so that's what I mean.
Can I just ask you guys something with regards to how do you guys deal with the fact that you've learned how to function like without that father figure, so to speak, to guide you? Like, I can't remember, let's just be real, I can't remember having a shave talk, I can't remember having a sex talk. Like, as far as my dad is concerned right now, I'm married, but I'm not even sure if he knows what's going down. So, you get what I'm saying? Just get married and everyone is going, where's the baby? I'm like, did you tell me how to get baby? do you understand? Like, how do you guys deal with that? What coping mechanisms do you guys have? I'm sorry, I know you're meant to be answering questions.
I only realised the lack of my father from when I had my son. Otherwise, I was just looking at my mum, and inadvertently, because I'm a twin, so inadvertently I was looking at my twin brother, my older twin brother. Well, older by 2 minutes, but older. But it's only when I had my son that I started to think about the things that I missed. Like, it's weird because I kind of saw mum as mum and dad, and because dad would come, take us to McDonald's, do whatever, S out. Then he would be like, yeah, I'm gonna come pick you up, and then not come. So for me, dad was inconsistent until he was consistent. Do you see what I'm saying? But mum was dad, mum was mum, mum was this. So it's only when I had my son I realised, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I haven't really had that. So I just functioned. And I guess that's why I built a lot of resentment towards my mum. And even now, like, my dad is more like a source of information. I really, it's not bad, but it is what it is. Like, I really don't see him as the pillar. I really don't. It makes me want to be a pillar. But I think, it's funny because as I think about it now, there's probably going to be a lot of healing if I probably have conversations with my dad and just sit with him and talk. Because a whole lot of things I miss. Like, I need to ask him, okay, so why when you said you were going to come, you didn't come? Because it gave me an expectation of it's okay to be inconsistent. And it's weird, I never blame my dad for anything. Like, even now, like, if my brother has tiffs with my dad, for some reason I side with him. There's no, it wasn't like he sat me down and you know how parents can manipulate their children. I was not manipulated or nothing. Even when we stayed at his for the first summer holidays, I saw him shaving and I just took it upon myself to shave. I had no hair, nothing. And ironing as well, I saw him doing it and I just imposed myself. And I guess I'm still kind of doing that now that I think of it. I'm just imposing myself on my father.
So would you say you just developed just finding stuff out from him, or up until that point, where else did you source out your information? Like Kanye West, did you guys see the interview with Kanye West? And his dad said something to him and about getting the word in Sunday service, and Kanye West was going back and forth with his dad, and his dad said, Google it. And he turned around to his dad and said, do you know how many things I've had to Google because you were not around? That's deep.
That's insight though.
You know
That's
what?
insight.
In that moment, I was like, oh! You know, I wanted to call my dad and go, Dad. You know what I'm saying? But, and that sprung up, and I was like, how many things have I had to learn quickly, or learn the wrong way, or learn by mistakes? So anybody else?
That's why I think you have to be honest about, like you said, you have to think about, okay, I've had to do this, I've had to do this, and this, and then be honest about the resentment. For me, you know, the resentment, the frustration of having to get to this point. Maybe if I'd have maybe had this kind of influence, how further on I would have gotten. So before, I think those why questions start coming out. Why didn't this happen? Why didn't it happen? Why didn't, for me, I think it's the honesty first, to know what was, or get an idea of what was lost. And then start to trust other people to support, because I think if you didn't feel that confidence with family, it's difficult to then start to trust other people as well.
How would you know if you never had it?
I think it comes up, you know, relationships, you know, trust issues in relationships, you know, a lot of responsibility. So being a leader, you were speaking earlier on about how, you know, leaders, you know, your position can become a prison because you're not used to getting support from people, you're used to performing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I would believe, you know, parents, father figures and stuff like that would do was provide security, unconditional support. I think one thing I had to do as well is acknowledge the brokenness of mum as well, because I think that's an area. I think you said something powerful earlier on about mum speaking, you know, and viewing dad. But then I think it's quite deep. I'm thinking a lot of women have been quite broken.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the same time, even though there's a level of resentment, I think, you know, people can't give what they didn't have.
Yep.
But one of the things I had to do is not just deal with dad's, you know, resentment with dad, but also forgiving mum as well, because mum also, as much as mum was helpful, sometimes mum could be an enabler. So maybe dad's absence could have now made mum overbearing. And then certain things that you should have learned by labour, you got in another way. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So then that makes sense.
This is deep, you know, because I had a conversation about accountability with a close friend of mine, and I reject accountability. And as you're speaking, I'm realising, okay, I've had a lot of people, you know, when people consider greatness in you and they want to mentor you and whatnot. I've had a lot of who are high profile now, but at that stage then, they weren't so much, but they were doing bits and whatever. And they saw something in me, but I rejected them. And now I'm realising, I didn't have my
You never say it, but your actions show it.
My actions showed it.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
as now the penny dropped, like, because dad weren't there. You don't know what it is to trust and have that accountability and grow in it.
Because you've learned to be so independent of it.
Totally.
Or you rely on it and then it doesn't work out.
Oh, you know how that breaks your, that's broken my heart many a times. Many a times.
Dropped, like,
If we want to be real, that's my thing. My problem is I don't know. I'm very open, as you guys know, but to be in a position where someone's accountable, I'm accountable. I have to talk to someone and they have to see my brokenness and then build me up. I don't trust to that level.
You know what catches me out sometimes? Even in church, I see it. If a guy leads, right, and you lead other guys, right, those guys find it hard for you being the leader.
As in to submit.
To submit, totally. Like, it's always an awkward back and forth. But if you now have a female leader, those guys find it easier to listen to her because she's calm. And I was thinking about this a couple of like a year ago. Like, it happened right in front of me. Same thing, same instruction. One guy said it, it wasn't done. A lady said it, who was a leader, it was done with no issues, no qualms, just. And could it be that complex? Do you think?
For me, it kind of is. I know it is for me. I know it is for me. I know it is for me.
I think it is. I think that when looking back in the past, some of my relationships were more with women. So when it comes to communicating certain things, it wouldn't really be with the brothers because, you know, you're men, innit? So you don't, you know, people can't see you weak. But, you know, Sister Susie, you can talk to Sister Susie because she's okay.
She's alright.
Yeah.
And then I find that I've not been able to lead men, even in ministry, until I've had to resolve certain things.
and also knowing how to communicate with guys without having to seem like,
Banter.
yo, do you
Banter
know what I'm saying?
or
Like,
just-
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Steve.
Okay.
Wow.
There's like there's there's a rock
I
paper
expect it.
scissors going on. I can see it. They're going like back and forth, like tag.
It's a big thing.
What do you think, Celine?
Yeah, it's deep, man. Ran out of words, I say deep. yeah, it's deep. I'm just taking it all in. I'm enjoying myself.
I agree. You know what? When I look back now this is in context of what you just said. No man could tell me anything. From the age of 15, I don't recall anyone as a male figurehead that I could regard and say, one, I'll be accountable to, and two, I'll take orders from. Especially because a period of my life I lived in YMCA. So during that period, especially, I was very self-sufficient and very, very like independent.
Right.
And then, you know what you've said about how your mum kind of built an image of your dad and you kind of ran with it because she was the one you were closest to.
Yeah.
My mum didn't build an image concerning my father. I think I said it on the on the first one that she was very, very like, but I already built an image irrespective of how whatever she said.
Something has
So
to feel
yeah,
right.
so and because of that, I was just like, no man can tell me nothing. Like, and so when you said in church, so and so said this, and everyone ignored, and then the female says it, I wouldn't be surprised if it was me. That's the honest truth.
I
That's the
remember
honest
I
truth.
was looking, I was just like, because it's been in my head, and sometimes as a leader you think, am I just making this up? And then you sit down, and then you look at your own life, and you think, oh, this is deep.
Yeah, so I think for me personally, as I've grown across the years, I've seen the need of accountability where probably I've had relationships that didn't work out or things that maybe if I was accountable to someone I would have got probably better wisdom, better guidance, better counsel, that kind of thing. So now I'm probably more receptive to it, but I do feel like any man that I come into like conversation with, any man that I come into that maybe even like senior to me or I should be below them, whatever organization we're in, my mindset is always, so what have you done to earn your stripes? What have you done that will put me in a position where I should respect you or I should kind of succumb to your authority and listen to everything? Like, that's just the real talk. So for me, I believe it's a working process. I think progress, and the closer I draw to God, the easier it is for me to kind of respect authority and so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong, I'm not now like wild and wayward, but I'm just very much into my own ability and capacity there, and I don't feel like I have to go to anyone for anything, even though I do. That's the reality. And then in context of my father, we spoke about him a lot. Yeah, cold turkey, it's gone a bit quiet. That's the honest truth, it's gone a bit quiet. But I think God has blessed me in the fact that even though I haven't been close to my father, I've been close to my cousin, and he's my older cousin, and I feel like over the past year, he's been there for me. Like, he's really filled a void I don't even know if I had a void there, but he's done something that, regardless of the fact that I don't feel that that bridge has been built yet with my father, I've got a connection with that side of the family that I didn't have before. And again, you don't know what you've lost if you haven't like experienced it. So I didn't feel like I've lost anything per se, but I do feel like I've received in him being in my life, and that's my older cousin now. So, but there's no resentment from my dad. If he comes in 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, we're not gonna go play catch. We're not gonna go to the park. We're not gonna do none of that. But we can definitely talk about life. I love him irrespective of the absence. I don't expect anything from anyone. That's just where my headspace is, and because of that, it's just like, if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. But the love is still there. Just because I think, for the fact you even brought me to this world, at least he brought me to England. I could have been born in Nigeria. That's not the truth. So because of that, listen, the bag of the passport does a lot. So
Mind your
thank God.
peace.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deep.
It's deep. Yeah, a lot for me has changed since we did season 1. I got into contact with my dad, so I reached out to him. It literally took me an hour to find, not even an hour, one Facebook search, 20 seconds. So I think that was the first burn. That was burn number 1. Like, it took me 20 seconds to find this guy.
Wow.
Like, this guy that I've not spoken to for 23, 24 years. I found him with one search. I saw him, and then, you know, you look at someone and I just was like,
That's me.
That's him. Do you know what I'm saying? No, I've never seen a picture of him. I've never seen anything of him.
Wow.
I just heard he's dark. I'm not even gonna lie, that's all I heard. So yeah, I saw him. So I reached out to him, and then he's God of heaven. And then yeah. So he's cool. You know you can do Facebook call.
Yeah.
He's doing Facebook call. He's asked me for my number. He's like, I'm so glad to speak. I'm so glad to hear from you. He's called me. I'm looking at it. I'm just like, not right now, man. Not right now. But I called him back in like an hour. I had to go. You have to go pray. You have to be with the Lord. You have to go and prepare yourself. So I just was like, alright, cool. Let's do this. Called him. I had a decent conversation with him. Talked to him for like about an hour that night. He's a cool guy. Cool guy. And I remember on the phone he was like, I went to your old house. I was looking for you. He said I went Westfield, and I was looking. I was asking boys, are you my son? Are you this and you that? No. And in my head I was like, you're just a waste, man. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm just being honest, innit? Don't please, you can bleep that.
No.
I was just thinking, you're a waste, man. I found you with one search. You're telling me you went Stratford looking for me.
Random boys. Asking random boys, you my son?
Are you my son? I was like,
So I love you to laugh, that's funny.
It's cute. It's cute.
Is it? Like he's 12. Like he's 12.
Yeah. So in my head I was just like, this guy is just. But yeah, like what you said about having a conversation, a raw conversation with him. So I just asked him a lot. I was asking him questions like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? He started explaining to me the struggle of coming to UK, the struggle of being an immigrant here in the country, a little struggle that he was having with my mum, stuff that it was like I was like that mind blowing stuff. Like you know what I'm saying, all them things was happening. So I was able to understand and to just sympathize. Even like what you said, when you mess up, listen, you extend grace, innit? So I was able to do that. He connected me with my siblings. So I realised that there was like, I think he's got 6 other kids. Like,
and you never met?
Never met them. One of them goes college next to my house.
Wow.
And I went college next to their house.
Wow.
Imagine that. So 6 kids. So he was like, oh yeah, talk to them. So I was like, all right, cool. So I spoke to them. They was like, who are you? And I was like, your brother. And they was like, one of them was just like, whoa, what's going on here? I had shocked, didn't really know how to take it.
Facebook call or?
No, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. So talking to them. Lo and behold, anyway, I met up with the siblings because he was back in Sierra Leone at this point. So I met up with the siblings. This was like maybe June, July. No, this is like April, March, April times this year. Met up with them, spoke to them. Lovely people, cool. I got nieces, nephews. I love them to bits. Siblings. I've got 3 sisters, 3 brothers, 2 little brothers. One plays football. Yeah, so I met up with them. I've been speaking to my dad, and then he came to London about 3 months ago. Met up with him. But all in all, it's been tough. If I'm honest, it's been tough, man. Like, it's been a battle. Because sometimes I just want to slap him, if I'm honest. Because like, just the way, like, if I'm just being very transparent, honest, sometimes I just want to backhand him, and then sometimes I just want to show him love. Just like what you say, like sometimes, like he's talking, I'm just like, why am I having this so much compassion towards you? Like, why is it? Like, I shouldn't be, but you know what I'm saying? But I should at the same time. But like, why do I feel? It's like I'm angry at myself because I'm showing him love, which doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like angry at myself, like why? Like I actually like you. Like, why do I like you?
You're not bad.
I can actually talk to you. Like, why can I talk to you like this? Like, you're actually interested. Like, I'm enjoying this conversation. But then I feel like, let me backhand you so I don't enjoy it anymore. But, no, like...
It's your dad.
It's been, it's been tough. Like, it's been tough. It's been a battle, even with like, my mum and my sister. Like, we had a heated argument the other day with, go to your dad. And I was just like... like, come on. But yeah, it's been tough, but it's been good. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't know.
Someone really
Enough
did their
respect,
homework when
That's
they left.
growth.
Yeah.
That's growth.
I took what we had there.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
I kind of just
moment.
went back to the roads, you know?
When my dad left, you're kind of initiated into a responsibility you had nothing, you had no control over it.